2, 3. Man, that burns. Oh, that burn is deep, deep, deep. Burn. 6. I'll do this later. Oh, hi there. It's that time at Affinity again. It's 2009, and we're getting ready to start a series called One. And the idea of the series has to do with New Year's resolutions. We all make them, we all break them, and then we all wonder what went wrong. And this year, we're looking to take a different approach. This year, instead of having 4 or 5 or 6 different resolutions that we make, what we want to do this year is encourage everybody to strip that list down to one. What one thing in your life, what one thing in my life do I want to change this year? Do I want to be better at? And for some, maybe you've even eliminated the idea of resolutions altogether because you say, you know what, I'm not going to keep them. I'm not going to be faithful to them, so why even mess with it? But this year I want you to look at it differently. This year I want you to join me in picking one thing, really narrowing the focus on one thing that I really need to change in my life this year. And I want to encourage you and invite you to do that. In fact, I'm encouraging and inviting all of the people that attend Affinity, no matter what level of involvement you may have, that you would look at your life and say, what is one thing I want to do this year? And for some of you, maybe it is in the area of fitness. Maybe this year is the year that you say, you know what, I'm going to join a gym and I'm going to be faithful to it. I'm going to stick to it. I'm going to get in shape. Or maybe it has to do with eating. I'm going to eliminate certain things from my diet or include certain things in my diet. Maybe for some it's a one. Your one has to do with finances. Maybe it has to do with saving money, or maybe it has to do with planning for retirement, or maybe it has to do with being a better steward of the money that you've been given and spending more wisely. Or maybe this is the year that you say, you know what, my one this year is going to be to test God, who's promised to care for me and to provide for me, and this is the year that I'm going to faithfully give back to Him to see His kingdom advanced in North Oshawa. And maybe that's through Affinity, or maybe it's through another ministry, but maybe this is the year that you say, financially I'm going to make some sacrifices so that I can do that. Or maybe it has to do with spending more time with your family. You know, husbands, a lot of times we work very demanding jobs, and it's easy to get focused on climbing that corporate ladder, but maybe this is the year, husbands and wives, that we say, you know what, forget the corporate ladder. The most important thing in my life is this. The most important thing in my life is my family, and I want to spend that time with them. I want to make sure that they know that they're a priority. For some, maybe it's an addiction. I've got a deck of cards here. Maybe your addiction is gambling. Maybe it's drugs, alcohol. Maybe it's a pornographic addiction. I don't know what it is, but maybe this year you say, you know what, in 2009, my one is going to be to eliminate this thing that dominates and controls my life. And for some of you, maybe it's a spiritual one. Maybe you say, you know what, I've never tapped into this book. I've never tapped into this resource, and I'm going to read it and meditate on it and possibly even memorize scripture this year. And your one this year is to read this book like maybe you've never read it before, or maybe it's to deepen your walk with God through your personal communion time with Him, through your prayer time with Him. And I want to encourage you and let you know that at Affinity, we don't care what your one is. We want to help you. We want to give you support and some encouragement as you journey through trying to achieve that one this year. That this would not be a year where you go 5 or 6 things that I kind of did okay at and then just finally ended up quitting because I couldn't do them right. And that this be the year that you say, I'm narrowing the focus to one, and we're going to do it together. As an Affinity family, we're going to support and encourage each other through this journey. And we're going to talk about things like how to narrow your focus. How do you take those 6 or 7 things and come back to just one? What's the one most important thing that I need to change in my life this year? We're also going to talk about roadblocks, because 2, 3, 4 weeks into your journey, you're going to hit some roadblocks, and it's going to be easy to say, forget it. And we're going to talk about what do we do when we overcome, or when we encounter roadblocks, how do we overcome them? And we're also going to talk about the idea of being disciplined, of staying the course. You know, when things get difficult, when things get, when our schedules get a little bit out of control, a lot of times the things like the one are the easiest things to cut out. And I want 2009 for me to be the year that I actually make a resolution, that I actually make a vow to myself and stick to it. And so I encourage you to join us starting Sunday, January 4th. It's a 3-week series entitled One. With Affinity Church. We meet at Norman G. Powers Public School on Coldstream Road in North Oshawa, and I want to encourage you and invite you to come and participate in that series and join me in making a commitment of one that I'm going to see fulfilled throughout the year of 2009. Thanks. Let me get back to my workout. 1, 2, 3, 4.